Hello again. Just like last week, signs of a hot spell at the end of this week, but some uncertainty about just how hot and how widespread the heat will be. And before we get there, there's plenty to talk about with Tuesday's weather. A north-south split really, with wet weather across much of Northern Ireland, Scotland, very soggy in western Scotland, whereas a good part of England and Wales looking dry and bright on Tuesday with some sunny spells and temperatures in the low 20s. We'll start off with quite low temperatures on Tuesday because overnight, clear spells for most areas. There have been a few showers around on Monday, but they're tending to fizzle out. Some will keep going in northern Scotland, but for most, dry and clear. But here comes that rain pushing into Northern Ireland during the early hours. That will stop the temperatures falling too far here. But elsewhere, it will be a bit of a fresh night. We'll see temperatures down into single figures, even in some urban areas. But generally a sunny start across the Midlands, much of southern and eastern England too. But the rain across Northern Ireland pushes into western Scotland. And once it's here, it lasts all day, and particularly heavy across parts of Argyll and Bute, southern parts of the Highlands. The rain will extend into northern Scotland and eastern Scotland, but perhaps not as heavy here. Eases off for a time in Northern Ireland, but threatening to come back later on in the day. Some drizzle over the hills of northwest England and West Wales, but most of England and Wales will be dry with some sunny spells across eastern and southern England lasting all day and lifting those temperatures after a chilly start into the 20s. 24 is possible in the capital. Cooler conditions further north and not feeling very pleasant at all under that rain with a brisk wind. There's a Met Office warning in force for that rain. As I say, it could cause a few problems, certainly some miserable conditions on the roads. It lasts into the evening before easing off a little bit as the rain band sinks into parts of northern England and North Wales as we go into Wednesday. But instead of slipping further south, it kind of stops and buckles and then likely to push back further north. It's a wriggling, waving weather front, and it's this next pulse which then makes Wednesday a bit of a mess, really. Still high pressure controlling things across much of the south and east, so probably staying dry and fine here. But this weather front, as I say, causing a few issues about exactly where it sits through Wednesday, likely to bring clouds and outbreaks of rain to parts of Northern Ireland, parts of North and West Wales, northwest England. So some areas in here could be really quite wet, parts of southwest Scotland too. But further south and east, as I said, with high pressure nearby, another fine day by and large, and probably not much rain in northern Scotland. But quite windy in places, that brisk wind. Wafting up some warmer air though, so again temperatures a little bit higher on Wednesday, more likely widely over 20 Celsius, 25 perhaps across the southeast, but temperatures could rise further later this week. That weather system again tries to move in but fizzles out. Another one follows on behind, but this one's further north and west, allowing the high pressure to have more influence and waft up warmer air from the south. And so similarly to last week, the end of the week sees some very hot air pushing its way northwards, but the position of this weather front will be key as to how extensive that heat becomes and just how hot it gets. Some uncertainty at the moment, but easily temperatures could be into the mid-30s in places on Friday. The message at the moment, stay tuned for further updates on that. And so there are some signs that the heat may last a little longer than it did last week as well. Best way to stay up to date day on day is to follow the Met Office on social media.